Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and well, a lot of us have noticed that the Illuminate seem to be disappearing and coming back in weird waves, but today we're going to be talking about how the Terminids and the Automatons are actually getting an upgrade to their forces, but without further ado, let's get into it.
So the Illuminate the last week have been a pretty big thorn in the sides of Helldivers everywhere. They were slowly moving across the galaxy map over to the Meridia black hole and very nearly actually got there before we as Helldivers successfully fought them off, and once again they have now disappeared. However, with that there is a brand new major order. It is described as novel anomalous phenomenon have been observed in the vicinity of the Meridia singularity. Astronomers have reported fluctuations in the event horizon and electromagnetic flares. These developments demand further investigation. High Command has ordered the construction of a new center of science on Fenrir 3. The Helldivers must clear the planet and nearby area of any Terminid infestation in order to facilitate its safe construction. Right now, all we gotta do is just hold Fenrir and then hold Errata Prime when the order expires. That being said, with the Illuminate here and us fighting them so diligently, in that time, both the Terminids and the Automatons have actually been upgrading their forces, and they are about to unleash something very, very devastating to us, and we are gonna have to be prepared to fight a three-war front, not only against the Terminids and Automatons, but the Illuminate with that Meridia black hole. But let's go ahead and talk about what the Terminids first are going to be having in their arsenal that is going to give us some problem. The gloom is continuing to spread on the Terminid side, and with it, we are going to get brand new enemy types. It does look like the gloom is going to be something that's already been teased by Arrowhead. As they were actually asked recently, they're working on a planetary modifier that will see new lethal variants of some of our existing bug spawns. I'm pleased with how they are turning out, and I think they will present a unique challenge for the Helldivers. Another enemy I've worked on is the Impaler, which I will not say more about at this point. Obviously, this was a question asked before the new escalation of freedom, where they did talk about the Impaler that they've been working on, and that the gloom is going to be something that modifies the Terminid enemies into something much more dangerous. According to some data mined information coming from Iron Sights, it does appear that there is going to be an evolution of these creatures. Now, according to some information, it does appear that there is an NPC called the Architect, which could be involved with the evolution of bugs in some way. There's actually a model in the game right now of something called a dragon, or a bug dragon. In fact, Iron Sights said that there's more proof of the bug dragons existing as juggernauts than the Hive Lords, and well, we've seen a lot of leaks and information about the Hive Lord. According to that same information, there are some abilities already found for the Dragon Lords. There's Fly, Burrow, Unburrow, Start Dive, End Dive, Crash, Bark, but it has more abilities than the Shrieker, and it cannot open a bug breach as of when he had found that information. There was oddly enough some stuff for Helldivers 2 soundtrack that featured flying space bugs as well, so it does seem like this is something that the developers have been working on for quite a while, and it'll be interesting to see how the Architect actually rolls into this. We also know that at some point there are supposed to be more variants in the future, like hallucinogenic bugs, and if you think that sounds kind of crazy, well, there's a new spore system that is being worked on in the future. Iron Sights went ahead and gave us a pretty basic rundown right here back in May, letting us know that there are mutated acid planets, which we have kind of briefly seen, but death troopers who are equipped with fluoroantimononic super acid. You'll have to wear gas masks on the planets, and one of the planets is described as having deposits of poisonous gas, lakes of acid, fog so thick it is impossible to see. These planets will be violent acid storms. Along with that, there will be orbital acid burst stratagem, hallucinogenic mutation, which we just went over with the bugs, where certain planets and bugs will release hallucinogenic spores. So if you thought fighting the Terminids and Automatons threat was bad enough, try doing it while going high on a trip. That looks like something that we may very well have as a future challenge when we go onto these planets. Iron Sights did let us know a list of the planets. It's actually a fairly old list, but he updated it on June 10th. Some of these we've already seen, but there is in the files right now: Bug Homeworld, Bot Homeworld, Illuminate Homeworld. Can't wait till we finally get those. Mines of Zion, Forest Cathedrals, Heroes Bayo, Coldeth, Miasma 8, Darkwater Bay, Bug Quarantine, Meridian, Leah, RP426, Usheron, Outpost 31, Franklin's Retreat, and Protea as well. Some of them, like I said, have already come to the game, but it will be interesting to see which one of these actually ends up giving us the dragon bug and then also makes us, start to trip a bit. Along with that, according to some more data mine information, in the near future, we're going to be getting a automaton that wields a flamethrower. That is right, we no longer have just fire superiority. We're going to go ahead and need to put on some of that Freedom Flames armor to go ahead and protect ourselves from this. But it doesn't end there. The Assault Strider, which we've talked about a couple times, is the next major unit coming in for the Automatons. This thing is almost about the size of a factory Strider, although it may not look like it in this image, and it has some pretty powerful weaponry. Iron Sights was actually able to go into the game and show us what the weapons do. It's his Helldiver actually using the rockets. I'll go ahead and play the clip right here, but be warned, once again, it looks like we're going to have more problems on the horizon.
Nothing in the chamber.
Reinforcement budget depleted. Request approved. Reinforcements on the way.
Democracy has landed!
Now, obviously, all this coming into the game is going to make it very hard. There are going to be even more new faction types coming in that are going to expand even further on the automatons and really going to give us a hard time. And we're going to break down exactly what they are in the game files right now. Now, there's been a lot of speculation. A lot of people on the Helldivers League's Discord are saying that they think the next plot point will probably deal with the bots being reinforced by the Iron Legion, which is actually mentioned in the latest datamined strings. We'll make progress towards Cyberstan, but then get interrupted by the arrival of the Illuminate. Now, Cyberstan is a planet we are likely to go to in the near future. There is a planet banner right here that you can see. It is an icy, snowy, desolate world. It is the home of the bots. But before we actually get to the bots, it looks like we're going to have to deal with the adversary of the new automaton enemy types. And interestingly enough, there is actually a bunch of things in the file, such as the Legion for the automatons, which is a dark and dastardly stronghold of the automaton Legion. Then there's the Phalanx division, which is very similar to the Greek Phalanx. At least that's what my thought process is. A Panzer division, which is, most likely going to be more armored enemies and tanks, obviously. And an assault division that operates here. Expect shock troops that close the distance fast. And then at the very bottom, once the stronghold of the cyborg traders, New Cyberstan is now ruled by the Automaton Legion. Everyone who's ventured in the region has been forcibly converted into a cybernetic slave, sent back with orders to murder those that they love, which, is us, fellow Helldivers. Now, Ironsights was able to show us some renders of the Iron Legion. They are these chrome-looking ones right here. I assume that they're more heavily armored, and there are some illegal broadcasts that he pointed out that also showed this big chrome unit as well, which does look like a bigger version of a Hulk. Interestingly enough, there is a human-like Hulk in the files that was uploaded to the Helldivers Discord. This one is absolutely massive once again, which could end up also being part of the Iron Legion. Destiny was actually able to give us a full breakdown on how this actually worked. It will either be part of the Iron Fleet / Legion or the Assault Division subfaction, and for maximum annoyance, when it lands, it will release a shockwave that ragdolls you, which is just going to be even more difficult to fight in the game. So overall, the Iron Legion is coming, and it looks like it's going to overhaul the automatons. That being said, there is actually a news broadcast that gives a little bit of a hint of things to come for Cyberstan if you weren't thinking we were actually going to go there.
This is Coretta Kelly with all you need to know. Cyberstan's orbit can no longer be accurately predicted. Software error or automaton scheme. Execution by black hole spaghettification has been ruled constitutional. And Freedom of Expression Bill passes into law, legalizing 8 new pre-approved comments on news media. Number 4, a sigh of contentment. And that is all you need to know.
Let me know down below what you guys think about the Terminids and the Automatons getting upgrades. Also, don't forget to check out this video and this video right here, where I cover more news and information on Helldivers 2. Until next time, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Keep spreading democracy.